Hello there, what is up? Happy Money Monday, and welcome to this week's video newsletter. If you don't know me yet, my name is Scarlett, aka the Biz Hippie, and I am a money and abundance coach, helping people live their best lives without money holding them back. And I love to do these quick video newsletters weekly just to share unfiltered, what's up in my world? What am I learning about? What am I thinking about? What's going on with me? I love to just take this value and share it with you. So this week, I want to talk about pseudoscience. What? This might be totally out of left field, but I've actually been thinking about this for days, and I'm really excited to talk about it. So I just started reading a book totally randomly. I found it at the library, and it's called Empire of Skulls. And it's a nonfiction book about the history of phrenology, the science of phrenology, which is, I didn't know about this. I didn't know this existed until I found this book at the library. I just was like, sure. I basically walked into the library, saw this book, and was like, okay, and decided to buy it. I didn't even know if it was nonfiction or fiction, but phrenology is the science of like touching people's skulls and heads and seeing what like your skull means about you. It's kind of like astrology, but looking at your skull instead of looking at the planets and like making it mean something about you. And apparently this science has been since disproven, since we have new science and like neurology, biology, things like that. Like scientifically, we've disproven a lot of phrenology, but it's interesting learning that phrenology played a big role in the like self-help movement and really built a lot of the foundations of the world that we live in today, like other sciences and like just self-betterment as well. So I haven't gotten that far into the book, so I'm not gonna like talk about phrenology, but if other interesting things come up, I will share it with you. But I did want to talk about pseudoscience because I learned through reading this book and starting this book the definition of pseudoscience, which I've heard that term pseudoscience thrown around here and there, but I never really knew what it meant. I only just knew that it was used to describe something in a negative way. Like, oh, it's some kind of fake science, basically. Like, that was all I knew about it. But in this book, the original creator of the term pseudoscience coined this term with the definition meaning a science that only looks at evidence that benefits their theory and ignores or negates evidence against their theory, right? Because that's how science works. Science is you pose a hypothesis and then you collect evidence and data, and then from that, your hypothesis is either proven or disproven, and you learn from those experiments. Versus pseudoscience is where you're posing a hypothesis and you're collecting evidence, but you're like filtering out or ignoring evidence that is against your hypothesis, and you're collecting or maybe even like manipulating evidence for your hypothesis. And this definition has really stuck with me. And I have been thinking about this for days because this is going to go in a totally different direction. In many ways, I actually practice pseudoscience and think it can be really beneficial through the context of mindset. Okay, through the context of having a powerful mindset in order to create the life you want to live. Because here's the thing, when we look at the perspective of like the human brain is very rarely objective. The human brain is subjective. The human brain has foundational beliefs or stories that we were taught, that we learned, and then based off of those beliefs, our brains collect evidence that are constantly fueling our own beliefs. And we're constantly filtering out tons of information that do not align with and do not validate our current beliefs about ourselves, the world, others. And so basically, our brains are pseudoscience machines, right? And we know that this is true because this is why I think we're so divided. We all have these different beliefs, and then that's constantly affirmed and validated in different ways. And even when we see other evidence, we just can't really see it and believe it. And this can be true whether we're talking about big events of the world, but especially when we look at self-belief and thinking oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, or maybe everyone hates me. If you had the belief everyone hates me deeply ingrained from childhood when you were bullied, then you're going to keep collecting a lot of evidence that everyone hates you all the time. Your brain's going to hyperfixate on small things where someone said something in a weird tone, and you're going to be ooh, that means that person hates me. And then you're going to ignore all the other evidence where people are oh, I genuinely like you, think you're really good. Your brain's just going to be nope, none of that happened. None of that existed, because your brain is a pseudoscience machine. The problem is that most of our brains are trying to prove something and holding on to beliefs or hypotheses, I don't know if that's a word, probably not, that don't really serve us, right? Our brains love to prove theories that don't really help us get to where we want to go. And so what I love to do personally, I practice this all the time, and this is also a skill I help my clients learn in my Empowered Abundance program, is how to use the pseudoscience natural function of your brain, but in a way that actually helps you get to where you want to go, and in a way that is self-serving. Now, when I say self-serving, to me, that means a very specific thing. In general, I'm speaking to and working with other people who are good people, who care about the world, who care about themselves, who want to make a positive impact. You're a good person. And I believe, for me, that when I am living my best life and I am aligning my brain with that version of self-service, that actually serves everybody. So I'm not saying use this pseudoscience of your brain to be self-serving and then be a selfish asshole. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you live your vision, when you live your best life and you're a good person, that good life of yours can benefit everybody and have a big positive impact on the world. And so it's actually this version of self-service I see as bigger service as well. And so training your brain in a specific way to stop filtering out things that serve you and stop proving beliefs and stories that aren't serving you and aren't helping you get to where you want to go, but instead choosing new beliefs that are in alignment for where you want to go, and practicing pseudoscience on those beliefs. So here's an example. I work a lot with entrepreneurs, especially life coaches, artists. I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I go through the entrepreneurial journey all the time. Most of the time when we're in entrepreneurship, we have the thought of no one wants this. Or when I'm marketing or selling, I'm being annoying. People don't want me to sell to them. No one's going to pay me for this. Those are an example of foundational beliefs or theories, subjective theories and assumptions that we have about business and entrepreneurship. When we have those beliefs, the brain does its pseudoscience magic and constantly proves those beliefs. And because we believe those things to be true, and we have a lot of evidence now that those things are true, it changes the way we show up in business. The way you show up in business is very different when you're everyone hates me and I'm a bad person to marketing for them. You're going to market different. You might not even market at all. Versus if you actively and consciously instill the new belief, and this is a practice and a skill set that can be developed, that my marketing is highly valuable. People want what I have to offer. People are excited to pay me. People want this thing, and I am highly skilled at delivering it and getting people results. I'm excited to sell this. And if you can switch your brain function to, instead of be singularly focused on this old belief that's neither here nor there, you don't know if it's true, it's probably not 100% true, but it's not helping you get to where you want to go, versus switching to this new belief, and then you show up in your business different, you market different, you talk about your work differently, and that changes the energy, and that is so much more likely to actually get you the result that you want and actually get you where you want to go. And so what I have determined and discovered is that the brain is already a pseudoscience machine, and that we need to just change the direction that our is focusing on. Now, I'm not saying we should practice pseudoscience instead of real science when it comes to science, but I'm just looking at this through the lens of mindset. Is as humans, we all practice pseudoscience without even realizing it through our subjective lens of the world. But you can change that perspective. You can change your hypothesis. You can change your theories, and you can very much have your brain collecting evidence that serves you, even if it's not 100% true. Right? Even if it's not 100% true, I think it can be really valuable to help yourself convince yourself of things that actually help you create the life that you want to live. And I practice doing that all the time. And that causes you have to break the old mold of your previous theories, your previous pseudoscience that you were practicing. So anyway, this is really fun. I'm excited to now learn the definition of pseudoscience. Comment below, what theories is your brain constantly proving, and what would be a theory that would serve you better? And that is all for this week's video newsletter. If I have other updates as I'm reading this book, other interesting things about phrenology, I will let you know. Other than that, have a great rest of your Money Monday, and I will see you next week.